Hello, and welcome to Dr. A Has Something to Say. You know, when you think about life, we only have one life to live. That's right, we only have one life to live. So why is it we spend so much time worrying about other people's lives? You might say, what do you mean by worrying about other people's lives? Well, think about it. When we have little kids, we have to worry about what's going on with their life because they're little. They need our guidance. We have to show them the right from the wrong so that they can grow up and make good choices. So we spend the beginning of our time as parents worrying about not just our life, but our little ones' lives. And that's important because we have to gear them into knowing how and when to make certain choices. A lot of it has to do with their safety too. But then if we stay on the realm of kids, when they grow up, we're still used to trying to live that life for them. But at that point, we have to realize, hold up, that's not my life. That's your life. So I've given you choices. Hopefully I've helped you to learn lessons. And now it's up to you to take those lessons and run with them. Because, after all, we all learn lessons. And I think that's why we get so hung up in living other people's lives. It goes beyond our kids saying, okay, once they grow up, that's their life to live. I can try to help them. I can still give suggestions. But if they don't want to do it my way, I have to remember the final outcome, the final destiny is theirs. And they're responsible for their choices, good, bad, or indifferent. But when we go past the lives of our children, why is it we still spend so much time living other people's lives? Well, I was thinking about that. And you know what? I think it's because as we go through life, we're going to make mistakes. We always make mistakes. And through our mistakes, we learn these valuable lessons. Well, we can't change the past, so we can't relive it and do it the right way, quote unquote. But if we have that lesson, we say, okay, you know what? I'm going to bank that in my storage tank. And I'm going to bring it up when I need to help someone else. To help someone else that I care about. To help someone else to not make the mistake I made through the lesson I learned, but it was still a mistake. But here it goes. We learned a lesson by making mistakes. That might not be the same lesson for them. So we're trying to guide them and gear them and say, hey, you know what? I did that before. Don't do that. Don't do it that way. It's a mistake. You're going to see it's wrong. But you know what? Maybe there's a lesson there for them to learn. So like I said, we only have one life to live. We can't take our lessons that we learned in our life and apply them to someone else's life. Their outcome might be different. Maybe their outcome is supposed to be different. So we have to let them live their life. With our friends, sometimes we look at our friends in relationships and we say, you know what? Oh, I wouldn't take that. Oh, you let him do this or you let her do that? Well, no. Maybe that's okay for their relationship because you're two different people. So what she might be able to tolerate and say, hey, you know what? It's cool with me. I'm okay with that. You might not be able to tolerate it, but here it goes. You might tolerate something where your friend says, you let him do that? So like I said, you only have one life. We only have one life to live. We can't tell someone else how to live their life, how to run their relationship. Now, if they ask for your advice, yeah, we give it. Because we're hoping to be able to help them, to guide them, to avoid them from going in the pitfalls that we went in. But in the end, it's their life. So we cannot spend our life worrying about someone else's. Because you know what? Life is stressful. Life is stressful and we have to get through this thing. It's a game that we play every day. And we have to play it to the best of our abilities. But we have to play that game called life that we have. The game that we were put in to play. We can't play someone else's game. We're one pawn in this game called life. And we only have one life to live. I understand. Sometimes we make mistakes and we learn lessons. And you know what? Mistakes and lessons, they can hurt. And sometimes you don't want to feel the hurt 2 times for one mistake. Because when it comes to people that you care about, you hurt when they make the wrong choices. You know you do. You hurt when they're going down the wrong path. You hurt when they hurt. So you say, you know what? If I give you this advice and I try to gear you to do something different, I won't hurt twice for the same mistake. But we can't do that because we only have what? One life to live. And if you spend your life worrying about everybody else's, worrying about why this person does that and why the other person did this, and here's another one, trying to keep up with someone else's life. You're looking at Sally and Sally's doing A, B, and C, and you're like, hey, I want to do A, B, and C. Maybe A, B, and C is not for you to do. Maybe that's not in the cards for your life. Let her do her thing. You do your thing. We can't worry about living someone else's life. Maybe that's not for us. And a lot of times we get hung up with that. We're trying so hard to, as they say, keep up with the Joneses, do what they do, look like they look, wear what they wear. No. We have to worry about the one life we've been given. Live it to the fullest. Do what makes you happy. Try to give lessons. Try to help people to learn lessons, but that's through suggestions. But don't get so involved where you find yourself living someone else's life. You only have one life to live. You live yours and let them live theirs. Of course, if it's something that's detrimental to their health or going to hurt them physically, then yeah, sometimes you have to step in. But if it's just trying to avoid a pitfall for a lesson, something that's going to hurt, sometimes other people have to go through their own hurt. We went through hurt and we got over it. Sometimes we have to let someone else hurt and get over it because we cannot live our life living someone else's. So remember, we have one life to live. The lessons that we learned are just that, lessons we learned. Other people will live their life and learn their lessons. And sometimes it's hard to watch other people learning lessons that's going to hurt. But in the long run, that's a lesson that they may need to learn. This is Dr. A with something to say. Remember, you only have one life to live. I only have one life to live. Let's live that life to the fullest and let everyone else live theirs. Until next time, this is Dr. A with something to say.